Hey everybody, this is Jesse P. Gilmore, agency transformation coach and founder of Niche in Control, author of The Agency Owner's Guide to Freedom, and the creator of Leverage for Growth. I'm the host of the Leverage for Growth podcast, and I know that in order for you to scale your agency successfully, there are multiple shifts that need to happen within your mindset, skill set, and leadership style. I am on a mission to interview marketing and PR agency owners on their journey to 6, 7, and 8 figures and leverage the lessons from their journey to save you time, energy, and money to get your agency to the next level. If you find value in these episodes, watch the case study video to learn more about Leverage for Growth and how we successfully scale agencies at nicheincontrol.com/case study. That is nicheincontrol.com/case study. You are now listening to Leverage for Growth. Hey everybody, this is Jesse P. Gilmore, founder of Niche in Control and the creator of Leverage for Growth. Welcome to the Agency Leverage Edition. Today I am here with Ali Karsch, the co-founder of Little Voice Public Relations and The Littles, who brings nearly 2 decades of experience in public relations, specializing in the growth of direct-to-consumer startups. Thanks for coming to our show today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about the history and background of your agency?
Sure. So I started LVPR in 2016. We've been around for almost 8 years. So initially I started just going off on my own, freelance, doing PR. And we were really fortunate to have just through the years grown through referrals, and now are an agency of 10 people. And we do public relations, social media. We also do affiliate marketing, creative, and we focus mostly on D2C brands, startups, and have really kind of fallen into this niche. And, you know, through referrals, a lot of like startup founders will ask their friends, who do you work with? We've also inherited a lot of brands that have had bad experience with PR. And so I think that one of our sweet spots is really just being super transparent with brands when they come to us, being, you know, very relatable. We work almost as we're like an in-house partner. So a lot of our brands don't have big teams and they need more support than what they can get. So that's a little bit about us.
Awesome. So you went from kind of doing freelancing all the way up to a team of 10. I'm sure that's quite a journey.
Yes, it definitely has been a journey. And we went through obviously COVID, and there's been ups and downs for sure. A lot of learnings along the way. I personally never set out to be a founder of an agency. I always kind of just thought I would just do it myself. And so growing a business has been something I've had to learn. And I've made a lot of really awesome connections and peers in the industry too that have been super helpful about, you know, introducing vendors or just giving me feedback on situations I've never been in. So it's been a journey for sure.
Could you walk us back to your past version of yourself and going from that kind of freelancing to maybe even like the first hire, or can you talk a little bit about some of those milestones that you had along the way to get you to where you are?
Yes. Yeah, there was definitely, there was a lot. So my first hire was really scary. I honestly think it's one of the scariest parts of being a business owner, because it's like you're taking on somebody else's livelihood, you know, so you're responsible now, not just for your paycheck, but for somebody else's. And I think that's a really big moment. At least it was for me. So my first hire was a girl right out of college, and we worked together, just the two of us, for probably 2 years. And we hustled and we got a lot done. But yeah, that was a big jump for me. I think also the jump to bring on benefits. So when I had to start, you know, doing healthcare, and we offer 401k, and like bringing on these different benefits to staff was also a challenge and a learning. Like I didn't know what I was looking for. I had to really kind of figure it all out. And then obviously, you know, cash flow, making sure everything works and everything's paid on time. Those are big ones. I think another big one for me too was learning boundaries with staff. I had to kind of learn that the hard way. I'm typically a pretty friendly, open person, and you're in a manager role now. You can't be everyone's best friend, and that's a different place for me than when I had previously been at other agencies. So there's definitely been a lot of learnings.
Mm-hmm. A lot of those HR components, hiring, managing, maybe even firing people, based around that.
100%. I mean, the first time I had to let somebody go, that's a whole nother, you've got to do everything by a certain protocol. You need to have the right documents in place, then potentially there's going to be tax things that you have to be responsible for. So I think that was a big learning. I brought on a great assistant this year, and I think that was one of the positive learnings I've had. Just having somebody with a lot of experience in things that I don't have. So she has a lot more experience on the HR side and on some of the finance sides and things that I didn't. So that was really nice and helpful to have a partner like that.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. You had said that you didn't really even have the intention of growing an agency. Can you talk a little bit about what made it to where you kind of made that leap that I'm going to grow this business beyond me? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, it was definitely a hard one. I think what gave me the confidence was I was able to hire a really good junior team to start, and I managed everyone. So I kind of groomed these girls in a work style and a workflow that worked for us, and we were able to bring on more clients that obviously funded the growth of the agency. But training the right people was really how it all started, and then I was really fortunate to coerce one of my best friends to come work with me, and that's Nicole Flores. She's our head of PR, and we've worked together for almost 15 years at different agencies. So I brought her in, and she is super senior. So she was then able to kind of hire the right team under her. And that's how we grew. So then I was able to focus more on social media and influencer marketing, like some of the stuff that I was more passionate about. And she took over all of the PR side. So I think that the right team is everything. And once you have those people that are genuinely in it for the right reasons and want to watch the growth of the company, then it's easier to feel confident in growing and taking on more.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Finding either the right partner or the right mix of the team and everybody kind of specializing in their specialties that can really push a business to the next level.
Yes, for sure. And one thing I'll also mention, we also work with a business coach. And so she's been super helpful. I mean, I had never worked with a business coach before, and I didn't really know how therapeutic it could be. There's obviously a lot of tactics and things that you learn from them, but at the same time, it's a lot about relationships. And we did a lot of work on different personality styles, and our staff all has access to her and can go to her whenever they want. And a lot of times they're going for personal reasons, I'm having a challenge with this manager and their style. And I thought that was really interesting because I'd never done that at any of my other jobs and had that experience. And it's helped myself along with a lot of the girls on my team.
Mm. I'm a big proponent of coaching, as you probably know. So I'm excellent.
Yeah.
Awesome. So if you were to go back, we'll do a kind of a reflection and then talk a little bit about the littles, which is part of the reason why we set up this interview. But if you were to go back to maybe a previous version of yourself, or somebody that might be one or two steps on the same path as you, but a little bit before, and you were to give advice that would save them time, energy, or money, what advice would you give them?
That's a good question. I think one of the areas I know I've grown since starting LVPR is in my confidence. Obviously, like, you're starting and you're doing something, you have no clue what you're doing really. And I, there was points in my career at LVPR that I didn't give myself enough credit. So I think that sometimes I would want to charge a certain amount because I know that that's what somebody should pay for our services, but I would back down in order to get the client. And I wish I wouldn't have, because it really sets you up. Like, your pricing structure is super important and you can climb out of it year over year, but it's not like you can't jump $2,000, in a month to the same work level. So I think I would want somebody to just tell me, stick to your guns, and you're worth what you're worth, so don't let somebody like make you feel like you need to go down in price because another agency's charging something. There's a reason people come to you, and that was a huge learning for me.
Huge.
It
That's
is.
not a,
Like, I remember I used to charge clients at the end of the month, and they would have all month to pay me. Now people pay up front. And it's like these little things that you learn, but my cash flow was suffering because I was taking the hit for them. And I just, you have to like learn these things the hard way sometimes, but it's like finances are super important. If you don't set yourself up for success, then you're not going to make it.
Speaking with agency owners daily, I think I've through the interviews and discovery calls and so forth, I've probably talked to about 1,000 agency owners, and one of the main pieces is based around pricing and packaging and value and not doing the discounts.
Yes.
So aside from the value piece, is there anything from the HR piece? Because I know we talked about that quite a few times too. Is there anything that you would maybe give as advice when it comes to the hiring and the managing piece for maybe somebody that is taking that leap, going from, solo to growing a team?
Yes. I have a couple for this one, but one that we recently instilled is an agency handbook. So we did not have that in place like the past 6 years. And when my new assistant joined, she helped spearhead that. And that was really big because, and I'm sure many agency owners will say this too, but you kind of learn the hard way with staff of, situations you didn't know you needed to be prepared for. And then it's like your handbook gets longer because you're like, and you can't do this, and there's boundaries. And so I think that was a big one for me is, starting when you hire somebody, there needs to be a handbook. They need to read through, they need to sign it. Confidentiality agreements, non-compete agreements, which are really big in PR, having all those documents in place and sticking to them is really important. I think, we haven't had too many situations where like we don't really write people up often. That's not really what happens at our agency, but we've had to put people on performance reviews, and there's like very specific ways you have to do that and hold to them. So my recommendation, honestly, we learned a lot through our payroll service, ADP. Like, ADP has this whole HR document center, and that they were super helpful. They also have advisors if you need support there too. But they were super helpful in helping us get set up for success. I would recommend that to anyone. I'm sure every payroll provider offers that, but that was something that we needed and use now.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So many lessons.
So many lessons.
And now what I heard recently is that you've started up either a second company or kind of a branch called the Littles. And can you talk a little bit about, maybe the formation, the idea behind it, and kind of what you're hoping with that over the next couple of years?
Sure. Yeah. So my partner, Nicole Flores, the head of PR for LVPR, and I started the Littles in last September. So the concept of it is we're an advisory. So we were finding a lot of brands were coming to us that we were so excited about, like startups that just didn't have the funding for our retainer levels. And we would, not be able to work with them, but we would see them grow and we're like, oh my gosh, they're doing such cool stuff. And so what we proposed is offering the littles as an advisory just to the two of us. Like you have access to just Nicole and I, and it's a mixed offering. So it's some cash and then some equity. And so this allows us to work and counsel and like really dig in with a lot of these brands that can't afford the bigger retainers, but really need the support. And it's like at these moments where it's imperative to get your marketing in place and to get you to that next level. So it's been really fun. We are hosting a cohort, and different brands can apply to it and be a part of growing with us. And just meeting, it's like I get the passion back inside when I speak with these founders that are just starting and are also excited about their businesses and whatever they're doing. And it's been fun. I've really enjoyed it.
That's awesome. It seems like it's a natural evolution going from the PR and then going into the littles.
Yeah, and it definitely feeds into like you said, it is like a branch. So if they grow to where they can afford LVPR, then we move them over. So that part's been really cool. And we've also been able to bring on different advisors, like different peers in the industry that, we have somebody that's a copywriter that gives a lot of advice. We have somebody that's a fractional CMO, with somebody that's a fractional CFO. So we're able to make these introductions and give them, access to other people that might be helpful for them as well.
Mm-hmm. Could you describe, anybody that's watching this and maybe they know somebody that would be either a good fit for the littles or PR, can you talk a little bit about who is that right fit for you, maybe in the two?
Sure. Yeah. So it kind of blends across both agencies or both companies. LVPR works with startup brands, and we have 5 pillars that we kind of check for every client that works for us. And that's a strong founder story. The brand has to have a strong founder, a quality product that we would genuinely use, and a path to sustainability, a path to a charitable give back. And then most of our brands have like a cult-like following where their audience or their customer base is just like so excited for the next product that's coming. They're very engaged emotionally with the brand, and they're just present, like they're reoccurring customers. So when brands check all those boxes, we do really well with them. We're really good at storytelling. So we try to work with our brands to figure out what's their narrative. What do they want to talk about? Are they fundraising? Are they, are they being acquired? Is there a business story? Are they going into retail? So we really try to like narrate those moments in their journey and then help them along the way. We also do social media. So we manage a lot of our brand's social channels. And for that, what we found is that is sometimes an afterthought for a lot of brands. They're like, oh, I know I have to do it, but I just don't have the time. And they were not utilizing their channels well. They weren't activating or optimizing the social commerce options or engaging with their audience. And so then therefore, like, they were just kind of falling flat. So we jumped in there and have really helped our brands strategize how to use their channels. It's more top level, but we also do creative and content creation and stuff like that. But it's really more like understanding the best way to use Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. So that's the majority of the type of brands that we work with. We also do affiliate marketing, which means we help our brands get set up on like an affiliate platform and optimize that channel for them. So it's most of the brands that come to us are small and scrappy, and they don't have the bandwidth, for a lot of these marketing needs. And so we kind of just fill in and be that partner for them in all the different areas that they want help with.
Mm-hmm.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, totally. So anybody that either fits that bill or wants to connect with you, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
Yeah, I mean, you can go to our websites. It's lvpr.com and then thelittlesadvisory.com. And then also just email or social. Our social channels are up and running, and you can contact us all three ways.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for telling your story and being on the show, Ali.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Agency owners, if you want to transform your agency to sustain and grow without your direct involvement, where you can stop working in the business and start working on the business, where you can free up your time, delegate work more effectively, price and position your services to finally get paid for what you're worth, and have the team run the day-to-day, go to nicheandcontrol.com/case study now to learn more about leverage for growth. And also to book a free strategy session with us. We'll look at your systems, determine exactly what you need to do in order for you to scale this year, and to create a strategic plan so that you can live the life of entrepreneurship you've always dreamed about. Go to nicheandcontrol.com/case study now.